Hello everybody, it is Saturday night, it's the Easter weekend. I hope everybody had a really lovely Good Friday yesterday, safe and sound at home. I thought I'd jump on tonight. I am Ash from the Conscious Jungle and I am coming to you live from Bunyip in my kitchen. I'm going to cook some pizzas tonight. I just wanted to show you just how easy and simple it is to make pizzas at home. So I'm going to get cracking because it does take a little bit, with doughs proving. So I'm going to do a few different types of pizza bases tonight. I've already had a traditional dough sitting at the back here, which I did earlier. So that has been proved and everything and ready to go, and I've rolled one out. So the other dough that I'm going to show you tonight is a quick 15-minute dough. It's called a pizza bianca. It's on our cookie dough. I do all of my cooking in a Thermomix. And I'm just going to click start cooking and it's going to tell me what to do. So I'm just going to skip through because this one requires making a garlic and rosemary oil to put on top. But we're going to load our pizzas up with lots of yummy goodness tonight. So I'm just going to skip through and get straight to the dough. First thing to do is put 220 grams of water. My Thermomix scales up as I go, so I'm just pouring straight in and it's got a scale inbuilt and it's telling me when I get to 220. 1 teaspoon of raw sugar. What that does is it gives the yeast something to munch on and helps activate our yeast. Next one is 2 teaspoons of dried yeast. I know that some people are having trouble getting yeast at the moment. So I've actually started a sourdough starter at home. So these are my sourdough starters. And this is something that you can use to make your pizza bases. Instead of using the yeast, you can use a portion of your sourdough starter. I'm going to let that yeast get to the optimum temperature. What's going to happen is we've got our water in there, our sugar and our yeast, and we're bringing it up to a 37 degree. Hi Chelsea, hi Meg, thanks guys, thanks for watching. Cooking pizzas tonight. I've just got my yeast and my water in my Thermomix and it's just activating it right now. So I made a traditional dough earlier, which I've already rolled out half of it onto a tray, and I've got this other half that I'll whip up a bit later. So we're going to make a few different types of pizza bases tonight. I'm doing this quick 15-minute, which is really close to replicating a traditional dough. Traditional dough needs to be proved for about an hour, whereas this dough only proves for 15 minutes, but it still gives you a really nice bready base. The other 2 doughs we're going to do is using our day-old, week-old flour tortillas. I'm just going to grab one that's over here. So this is another bread product that I make. I've got 2 dinner plates and I've got a tea towel, and in between that, earlier on I cooked some flour tortillas. So I make those once a week and we use them for lunch, and then by the end of the week when they've been in the fridge, they're getting a bit hard and crusty, we use these as our pizza bases. It's a really great way to use up different ingredients rather than eating a crusty tortilla. There's a way that you can utilize that. Other things you can do is your pita breads. You can just make pizzas on regular breads. So really look around and see what bread products you've got at home and how you can utilize that and transform it into something else. Pizzas is a really great thing to utilize all of those week-old bread products. So our yeast is activated now, so we're going to get on to our second lot of dough. So clicking next, and it wants me to add in 400 grams of baker's flour. The great thing about this recipe is you can just substitute your plain flour, baker's flour, with a gluten-free flour mix. And I know that Coral from the Farmers Market Cafe, Nar Nar Goon, she has a gluten-free flour mix available there, which you can purchase plastic-free, which is also another great thing. Again, I'm just adding in my flour and it's scaling up as I go. And that is nearly at 400 grams. Clicking next, adding in 30 grams of olive oil. You can use any oil that you choose. It just gives your dough a really nice silky pliability to it. Teaspoon of sea salt. Salt really helps to bring out the flavors in things. So, you know, adding salt into your doughs, it just really enhances that flavor. We're going to put our lid back on, and it's going to knead for 2 minutes. So then that's going to go aside. I'm going to wrap it up in my silicone bread mat and just pop it to the side and let that prove for 15 minutes. While that's going on, I'm going to get to a really, really quick, simple pizza base for the night, which is 2 ingredients. We're using flour and we're using natural yogurt. 2 ingredients, and you can whip up the quickest, easiest pizza base. Again, you can make this gluten-free by using a gluten-free flour. It will still activate and work the same way. Does anybody use anything alternative for their pizza bases at home? Do you use your flour tortillas, or do you make up maybe cauliflower pizza bases or sweet potato pizza bases? Yeah, lots of different options when it comes to pizzas. Really, the world is your oyster. Another thing I'm going to do with our pizza bases tonight is I'm going to put on the tomato paste, and then I'm going to use some thyme. We've had Heike and Tash both talk about, you know, the great benefits and medicinal benefits to thyme. So that'd be really nice. Rather than putting on your dried mixed herbs onto your tomato conserve, putting on a little bit of thyme. Alright, so this is that traditional base that I've got, and I've oiled my trays. I've just used my pastry brush and rubbed oil over the trays. That's another really great alternative to using your cooking sprays. Just use Rachel says that she uses pita breads for her homemade pizzas. Awesome, yeah, definitely. Have you tried making your own pita breads? I haven't. I'd like to give it a go though. The world is your pizza base. Sure is. So rather than using your spray oils, which have butane in them, which I'm not a massive fan of, you can just get your pastry brush and just rub straight oil on. You know, it really bypasses that aerosol can that at the end of the day it's quite unnecessary. So this is our pizza bianca. It's replicating our traditional pizza dough. I'm just going to pop that one down. Come out quite clean. I just gave those a little twist to get my dough out, which is nice and easy. Just going to push it together a little bit, wrap it up in my bread mat, and I'm going to set that one aside. Okay, so onto our 2 ingredient pizza base. Again, I was saying to you about the Thermomix. It's got its inbuilt scales, so I'm just sliding across, going into scales. And the ratio that you want to use for the 2 ingredient pizza base is 1.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of yogurt. I don't have self-raising flour. I just buy baker's flour, and then I use baking powder. And that way I make my own self-raising flour. So you only really need 1 type of flour in your cupboard. You know, and then you can go ahead and just add a teaspoon of baking powder to that, and you've created self-raising flour. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in my 1 cup of yogurt. Has anybody made the 2 ingredient pizza doughs before? Comes out nice and clean. It really does. It means that it's like really held together. Those the glutens are really combined. So I've gone in with my 2 ingredients, 3 if you count my baking powder, because I don't have self-raising flour. And I'm going to go over to my dough function. No, I'm not. First, I'm going to go over to my home screen, and I'm just going to whiz it up quickly, just to get it all combined quickly first. That started to combine, so now I'm going to go over to my dough function and let that just dough for 2 minutes. So 2 minutes of the dough function in the Thermomix is the equivalent to me standing here and hand kneading for 10 minutes. So it really saves me time. Okay, so I might get cracking on this pizza base and get started. I've got this awesome tomato conserve, which has been made by Meg and Mel, who are our coordinators at the Garfield Community Garden. So with this one, they haven't taken the seeds out, they haven't taken the skins off, they've really used the whole. Meg hasn't made the 2 ingredient pizza bases, but now she will be. With gluten-free flour, Meg, I know that you can get that from Coral. So this tomato conserve has all of the seeds, all of the pips, all of the skin, and check it out. I mean, it's just lovely. It's got some olive oil on there to seal it, and it's just lovely. So that's what I'm going to use as the base for my pizza. Just using the back of your spoon just to smear that one around. See the back of my spoon? Might move that so you can see me a bit better. It's very quiet in my kitchen today. Normally when we're making pizzas, I have 3 little boys with their hands all in, taste testing little bits of bacon and ham and whatnot. Because pizza night at our house is normally DIY. Everybody comes in the kitchen and builds their own. So I was saying to you before about my time, just going to get some of that, just holding it from the tip there and just dragging down, and those lovely little leaves are going to come falling off. Got one little stalk in there, let me get that off. And this is just adding a little bit of gut health to our pizza. And the smell is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. I picked this from the garden, you know, a week or 2 ago. So I had it sitting in water for a little while on my windowsill, and I've just taken it out and letting it sit naturally in my cupboard, and it's just drying itself, which is really handy. So you don't need to have, you know, access to fresh herbs all the time. You can pick them and let them sit. Alright, that pizza over here has been doughing for 2.5 minutes, so I'm going to take that one out and let that sit over. Pizza night DIY is family fun, it sure is. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit more flour to that and let it go for a little bit longer. It's just looking a bit wet for my liking. So I'm just going to add another 1/2 cup of flour and just let it dough for a little bit longer. Alright, while that's happening, I'm going to get some toppings going on my pizza over here. What have I got? I wanted to talk to you a little bit about when you go to the supermarket and you go into the fresh produce aisle and you go and you get your mushrooms. You take this brown paper bag and you go and get your mushrooms. And then for some reason, a lot of people go over to the other sections and they grab these plastic bags and they start filling up with lettuces and with spinach and all of that sort of thing. And handy little tip is, rather than going for those plastic bags, go back for your mushroom bags, and you can still put all of the other ingredients in your mushroom bags. You just got to make sure you tell the checkout people to have a little look-see in, or you can remember what you put in each bag. They always look at me a bit surprised when they open up my mushroom bags and there's not mushrooms in there, but handy trick if you've forgotten to bring your own produce bags or anything like that, just grab some brown paper mushroom bags. And this is also the same for when you go to Coles, where they've got the pick your own sections with all the seeds and the nuts. Don't use those little plastic pick your own bags. Go to the produce section, grab a mushroom bag and use that. So I'm going to put some of this fresh spinach on top. So we've got our homemade conserve, we've got some fresh spinach and thyme. And now I'm going to go with my meats. I went to Luke from Longwarry Butchers, the Meeting Place in Longwarry, and I picked up some lovely different meats for my pizza. He makes his own cabana and his own pastrami's, and I've got bacon there. I've also got some chicken that I steamed up in my aroma, and I've had it marinating for 24 hours in some homemade barbecue sauce. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop my meats on. I've got some lovely cabana. I love supporting all the guys at the Meeting Place in Longwarry. They have always been really accommodating when it comes to zero waste. You know, I I had some conversations with them in the past about not wanting to use plastic bags and bring my own containers in, and they've from day one been really accommodating with that. The other thing that they do is, rather than having plastic gloves on their hands when they're picking up the meats, they actually go out the back, grab some tongs, grab some spoons, and fill up my containers that way. So super accommodating. So if you're living a minimal waste lifestyle, Rachel says great butcher. Sure is, great butcher. And every time I go in, I get a mouthful of cabana or pastrami, or my kids are always trying something new. Luke's always saying, this is new, try this, try that. So, you know, I walk out of there with things that I wasn't intending on buying, but they're delicious. Just like this pastrami, which I had no intention on buying, but I saw it, tried it. It's too good not to. I instantly thought, it's going to be pizza night. I forgot that that was kneading over there, so I'm just going to have a look at that. Still looking a bit wet. Not loving it, but that's okay. It's got that elasticity. With you on that paper bag use, the shop will get the message. Exactly, Meg. The more people that go in there and take the mushroom bags rather than using the plastic bags, you know, then maybe they might get the message that they might offer those different alternatives to us. Okay, it is looking a little bit wet, but that's okay. We can always, when we go to roll it out, add a little bit more flour into the mix. Just washing my hand a little so that I can continue on. And a tea towel. All right. I'm going to have to wash my bowl of my Thermomix because that dough was quite... Hi Ash, am I delivering? Bunyip Uber. I think maybe I should start a business here. Bunyip Uber brings pizza to you. I'm just going to give my bowl a little wash. Give me one moment. Sorry for the blank screen. I need a second bowl for my machine rather than having to jump behind the scenes and give it a big wash. I've got one coming, it's on its way. Whew. I'm back. Alright, so what else are we doing? Let's grate some cheese. Can't have pizza without some cheese. So I've got my clean bowl, throw that to the side. Alright, I'm just going to jump back into my home screen, cancel that recipe. Okay, where's my cheese? So I've got a mix of cheddar and mozzarella here. So I'm just going to whack my big cheese cubes in. Forgot to wash my lid, hang on. Tracy's just saying that she has 3 bowls for her Thermomix, so there'll be no running behind the scenes for her to have to wash and rinse and do all that sort of thing. Let's crowd fund for another bowl. Meg, you're after my own heart. Okay, you saw how big those chunks I put in? I'm just going to whiz that up to 10 and I'm just going to listen. Done, I reckon. Let's have a look. Not done. One more minute. Now done. My husband's just popped on. He's got all of my kids outside in the break in the weather. Alright, so we've got our grated cheese. Just going to pop that in here.
Hi, Mum.
Hi, darling. Can you go back to Daddy?
No.
Okay.
I'll play that.
He's busy watching me live, that he's forgotten one of the little minions has come running inside. Okay, so I've got my grated cheese, I've got my meats on, I forgot my pulled chicken. So I also grabbed chicken from Luke there at Longwarry, and I cook up chicken, turn it into pulled chicken, and we have that on sandwiches, on salads, and this was just a little bit left over. Not a little bit, it's quite a lot. I'm going to freeze the rest of it. And I've just marinated it in some barbecue sauce. I've just realised the time. It's now 5:20 and I have no pizzas in the oven. Alright, speed up Ash, speed up. So this pizza here is going to be mainly targeted around my boys. All that's on there is some spinach, and the rest of it is just a meat lover's pizza. I'm going to put a little bit of tomatoes on, just a couple. I've got, like most families with kids, everybody has completely different taste buds. One person loves tomato, the other one doesn't like anything red. I'm going to pop my cheese on top. A little trick with when you're putting sauces on top of your pizza, I like to put my sauce on top of the cheese. I don't know why, I just do. Got no culinary explanation for that. So this is my homemade barbecue sauce. It uses homemade tomato sauce, and then you add a bit of Worcestershire sauce in, and a few different mustards and spices and things like that, and you make this beautiful barbecue sauce. All right, so here is our pizza, Meat Lover's Pizza, courtesy of Luke from the Meeting Place in Longwarry. My oven's been preheating this whole time, so it's going to be roasting hot. So let's get it in. Set my timer so I don't forget it like I forgot the others. Okay. So that very first dough that I made, with you guys watching, was my pizza bianca. So that's been resting for 20 minutes, and this makes, see, it's really risen. It's starting to sink down now that I'm touching it. That makes 2. So if you only want 1 pizza and the dough makes 2, we're having tacos and my salsa tonight. I made salsa following Tash from Tuesday night. She did salsa and kimchi, and I was so inspired that I went home and I made salsa, and then I've gifted it out to my friends, because that's what you do when you live in a circular economy and you barter. You gift things out to your friends. So that other part pizza, I'm actually going to freeze that one for another day, and I've got my pizza dough here. I'm going to pop it on my oiled tray. Again, just using your pastry brush and some oil. You know, you don't need to go ahead and buy all those tins of spray with butane in them. Surely butane's not good for our bodies. Just the straight oil and a pastry brush will do. Let me get my silicone mat out of the way. And now I wanted to try something a little bit different. Talking about Luke's on board now. Looks good. It is good because it's got delicious pastrami and delicious cabana on it. How could it not be good? Talking about salsa and Tash on Tuesday night. Has anybody tried her kimchi? She made kimchi, and I have never tried it. I've never tried making it before, but I like to eat it. So I thought, I was reading up about all the different things that you can do with kimchi, and somebody suggested using it on a pizza. And I thought, I'm feeling adventurous, so let's give it a go. So if anybody else started making the kimchi that Tash made on Tuesday night, let's give it a go. And if you haven't made the kimchi, now's the time. So I've got my pizza base, I've got my tomato conserve, and this is my kimchi that I made the day after Tash. So I made it on Wednesday, and in the words of Tash, it's nice and pongy. That's how she likes to describe when a kimchi is ready. Pongy. So my kimchi has got a mixture of chard, silver beet, carrots, there was collard greens, all from the Garfield Community Garden. Not the carrots are from my garden at home. And it's in a mixture of soy sauce, fish sauce, sesame oil, salt. The recipe, if you go back through the guide to cut in your news feed, the recipe's on Tash's feed from Tuesday night. Alright, so I've added my kimchi on top. It smells perfectly pongy in a really good way. And I'm going to add on some mushrooms. For those that have just tuned in, I talked about our paper bags, and when we buy mushrooms in our paper bag, that we can also utilise buying our fresh greens in a paper bag. It doesn't have to be limited to the mushrooms. It's a good way to save on plastic when you're out and about. Maybe you're on the fly and you haven't remembered to bring your own bags. Hopefully I haven't missed anybody's comments. So So I'm going to go on with mushrooms. So this one's got our homemade tomato conserve, our kimchi, our mushrooms, and I'm just going to leave it really simple like that, I think. Got heaps of different other things that we can pop on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead with my grated cheese. Okay, and pop that one in the oven. So pizza bases, really simple. You know, you don't need to go running to the frozen food section to buy those pizza bases. They're really basic. You know, you've got your 2 ingredients with your yogurt and your flour. I'm just going to pop this one in the oven and check on my other one. Oh, it's looking good, and I'm fogging up. What was I going to say? Let's roll out our yogurt one so you can have a look at that too. So that one I did say was a bit gooey. Going to add a bit of flour onto that one. If I can find my spoon. So just rolling it out on my silicone bread mat. A little bit of extra flour. And this is our 2 ingredient pizza dough. Yogurt and flour. Wow, check that out. Look at the elasticity in that. I can get all like Benny from up the street. Looking good. So simple. I didn't even let that rest for 15 minutes. That's rested for like 5 minutes and it's ready to go. Once the carrots grow at the community garden, we can make a truly Garfield community garden kimchi. We sure can. They won't be long. We have heaps and heaps of carrot seedlings in one of our wicking beds at the community garden. If you head down there when you're out for your daily exercise or out for your daily load of shopping like I do, I go to all the different community gardens and all that sort of stuff to get all of my shopping for the week. Yeah. So really customize it. You know, get some curry sauce. You've got leftover, you know, butter chicken, make a butter chicken pizza. It's a really great way to use up your old breads, whatever's in the fridge at the time. You know, get some really quality meat produce from Luke at the Meeting Place in Longwarry, and yeah, go nuts. Some fresh tomatoes, mixture from my garden, the school garden, the community garden, tomatoes galore. What else am I going to put on that? That's basically it, guys. Hopefully, I reckon that other piece is going to be ready in about 3 or 4 minutes. So I'm just going to stick around and keep making pizzas until that's ready because I really want to show you it. I like to show you a finished product. Putting a little bit of spinach on, not too much. What's your favourite pizza toppings? Hit me. Go. I like a barbecue chicken one, please. Yes, that's what it is. It's barbecue chicken in my homemade barbecue sauce, which I have now slathered all over. And this pastrami, yeah, Luke makes the pastrami himself, and it's got a pepper crust on it, which is just delicious. Even my little one, my 3-year-old, thought it was just delicious. He's not 3 actually. It's his birthday today. He's 4. Can't believe it. What else have I got? I love making pizzas. You get real creative. What do you want? A bit of this, bit of that. A little bit of mushroom. Has anybody tried letterbox, please? Letterbox pickup. Well, Tara was saying about a bit of booba before. Bunyip Uber. Inside joke. Nowhere in Bunyip delivers. Well, they didn't before the corona. Now everyone's delivering, which is awesome. So that's something that we miss out here in the sticks. Delivery. Margarita and the drink, Meg. That's your favourite. You and Liam both. Virgin margarita though. Alright, I'm going to put a bit of barbecue sauce on that. I know it's got a barbecue marinated chicken, but why not? And when I pop that one in, we'll check out our other one. Still needs a little bit longer. So in there I've got our traditional pizza dough that rose for an hour. I've got my 15-minute makeshift pizza dough. that roast for 15 minutes, and then I've got my 2-ingredient one in. And I spoke to you before about using your flour tortillas, and somebody said up earlier about using pita breads. Really fun, you know, really customize it. That's 3 pizzas in. I don't think I'm going to need to make the others. So now I'm left with 2 pizza doughs here that I will be able to, I'll roll them out and I'll freeze them flat in my freezer, and that will be pizza ready to go another night. My kitchen's a mess now. Pizza is an art, it's creative, which means your kitchen's a mess. I'm going to grab that pizza out and let's have a little look at it. It still needs a little bit longer, but I think I've held you guys long enough. Oh, it smells so good. It's looking good. Looking delicious. Got all of the different meats on there. Nobody said that their favourite pizza is kimchi pizza. We might have to change a few minds about that. I'm just going to walk you over here. Before I go, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on in here. Now I'm burning myself. I'm holding my iPad because I don't have a little holder. But I've got these fruits here. Does anybody know what these fruits are? There's a few different names. They smell like, I originally thought they smelled like petrol and thought they tasted like petrol. But I am on an absolute mission to change my perception of these fruits. Is anybody gonna guess what they are? Feijoas. I think I'm saying that right. Feijoa. Pineapple guava, native to South Africa, I think, but really common in New Zealand, feijoa. So what I've got in here, if you can see, this is a dehydrator, and I have got a mixture of feijoa, little tiny bit of sugar, and my neighbour who makes kombucha, a Scooby. She gave me a Scooby. She really doesn't like getting rid of the Scooby, so we whizzed the Scooby up, mixed it with the feijoa, I think I'm saying it right. I'm second guessing myself now. Mixed it with the feijoa, and I'm making fruit leathers for my kids. So they have been in since this morning, looking really good. My point to this story, Monday night, I'll be back on Monday night, and I am highlighting, showcasing this abundant New Zealand, South African fruit, feijoa. So many people have these growing in their back garden, have friends that have a tree. Coral from the farmer's market in Nar Nar Goon. Her mum has 5 trees, and she's going to have an abundance of these little beauties in her shop very, very soon. So let's get behind it. Let's support it. Join me Monday night, and I'm spending the weekend testing all different recipes so I can come up with some really great recipes for you. Yeah, Meg, Scooby. I've got Scooby in those fruit leathers, so my kids are gonna love that and all the gut health benefits that comes with that. I've been 32 minutes, and I really want to check these pizzas. I want them to be brown and crispy and good for you to see. Here we go. That's it. That's the last look you're going to get. Does need another minute. So I'm going to clock off. And that's it. Pizzas. Go home, cook some pizzas. See you guys. Bye. Don't go home. Stay home, cook pizzas, because we're all at home anyway. See you Monday night.